The mining ship Corin's Hope drifted slowly through the quiet darkness of Sector 91. There were no stars nearby, no planets, just dust, rocks, and the long shadows of forgotten things. Captain Elin Kaur sat in her chair, bored. Her crew of 6 had spent weeks scanning for rare minerals. So far nothing, just silence. Suddenly a sharp beep broke the quiet. "Captain," said the comms officer Jeno, turning around, eyes wide. "We're picking up a signal. Old frequency. Real old." Elin stood up slowly. "What kind of signal?" Jeno tapped the console. A crackling sound filled the bridge. Then a robotic voice said, "SOS, SOS, Echo 9, Deathworlder class, coordinates attached." Everyone froze. Engineer Tala looked confused. "Deathworlder? Isn't that a myth?" "No," Elin whispered. "It's real. And if this is what I think it is, we've just found something no one was ever meant to see." The signal was 237 years old, repeating from the edge of a small, dead moon. The strange part was, no known ship was ever registered as Echo 9, and the term Deathworlder class had been banned across the galaxy. The crew held a short vote. All agreed. They had to check it out. Hours later, Corin's Hope reached the moon. At first, it looked like a barren rock, but as they scanned deeper, hidden metal signatures appeared beneath the surface. "Buried ship," said Tala. "Big, maybe 2 kilometers long. Still intact?" Aelin looked at the image. She had heard stories of Deathworlder ships, human-made vessels from a time when Earth had gone silent, during the First Galactic Council Wars. They were said to be alive, almost, and too dangerous to be trusted. And now, one was here. Beneath her feet. "Prep the shuttle," she ordered. "We're going in." The landing crew moved slowly across the moon's surface. Dust covered everything, but near the base of a sharp ridge they found it. A massive black door, half exposed. Old Terran. Writing was barely visible. Echo 9, dormant status. Elin touched her comm. "We've found the hull." Tala began scanning it. "Captain, I think the ship is still alive. Low power mode. Heartbeat signal. It's waiting." "For what?" "For orders." They set up cutting tools to open the hatch, but before they could even start, the door opened itself. A loud hiss echoed through the air, then a ramp slowly extended down. Elin's team stood still. No one moved. "That's not normal," Jeno said, voice shaking. "No," Elin replied. "It's remembering us." Inside, the ship was dark, but not dead. Lights flickered on as they walked. A strange hum filled the air. The walls pulsed softly like veins. "Captain," whispered Tala, holding her scanner. "This ship is made of nano-organic alloy. It's not just metal. It's growing, slowly, healing itself." Elin touched the wall. It was warm. Then a voice echoed through the corridor, deep, calm. "Identity, not recognized. Access, denied." Lasers slid from the walls. Everyone froze, but then, the lights turned blue. The lasers vanished. "Warning, Terran signal detected. Rebooting primary systems." Suddenly, the ship shook. Lights blazed on. Deep inside the hull, engines groaned to life. The Echo 9 was waking up. Back on Corin's Hope, orbiting above the moon, the systems went wild. The ancient warship beneath them was broadcasting again, but now the signal was stronger. Jeno called Elin on the comm. "Captain, the ship is pinging Earth, full encryption. I think it just told them it's alive again." Elin turned pale. "You mean Earth will come?" "Yes," Jeno said. "And fast." Elin and her team returned to the mining ship just before the ground split. The Echo 9 rose from the moon, its massive frame breaking free of the dust. It hovered silently, its hull shining like obsidian. Its weapons ports opened, systems aligned. It wasn't just waking, it was scanning. And it was not alone anymore. Elin sat in her command chair, staring at the warship through the window. "We just woke a monster," she whispered. Tala nodded slowly. "Or a guardian. Depends what it remembers. Do you think it's dangerous?" Tala looked into the stars. "Captain, it's not just dangerous. It's Terran. That means it's built to survive."
Anything, fight anything, it doesn't lose.
A long silence followed. "Then the galaxy is not ready," Elin said. Meanwhile, light years away, on an old Terran station buried deep in a black zone, a red light blinked for the first time in 200 years. A sleeping AI stirred, files unlocked. Deathworlder Unit Echo 9, status, online. Earth's Defense Corps reactivated its oldest team. One by one, names lit up on the screen. These were not soldiers. These were handlers, the only people trained to speak to the Deathworlders. And now, they were being called back. Far from Earth, a pirate ship picked up the same SOS. Greedy and curious, they turned toward the coordinates. They never reached the moon. The Echo 9 saw them first, and when they approached, it erased them. No warning, no communication. Just one perfect plasma shot vaporized. The crew of Corin's Hope saw it happen. Tala whispered, "It's not waiting anymore, it's defending." "Defending what?" Jeno asked. Elin stood slowly, face pale. "Us," she said. "Or maybe something worse." Space was never truly silent. Even in the deep void there were whispers, radio static, dying signals, forgotten echoes. But today, something new was moving through the dark. The warship Echo 9 was now fully awake. Its massive hull floated beside the moon, dark and silent from the outside, but inside it was alive. Systems rebooted, weapons aligned, memory files unlocked one by one. It had been sleeping for over 2 centuries, but now it remembered everything, and it wanted to act. On the mining ship Corin's Hope, Captain Elin Kor watched from the command window. The Deathworlder ship looked peaceful, but she knew better. "Any changes?" she asked. "Yes," said Gino, checking his panel. "It just started scanning nearby star systems, like it's looking for something." Engineer Tala stepped in. "Captain, we should leave. That thing, it doesn't see us as a threat now, but if it changes its mind, we can't just leave it," Elin snapped. "We discovered it. This could change everything. If we stay, maybe it will trust us." Tala sighed. "Or destroy us." Before anyone could speak again, alarms began to beep. Jano looked up. Incoming ship. Fast. Unidentified. Not human. Elin's heart sank. "Sindrathi?" Jano nodded. "It's a Sindrathi recon cruiser. They must have picked up the same SOS." Elin clenched her fists. "They won't wait. If they see a Terran Deathworlder ship, they'll try to take it." The Sindrathi cruiser came out of warp, smooth and glowing red. Inside, Commander Varric smiled. "Scan the surface," he ordered. "Show me this so-called ghost ship." His officer looked nervous. "Sir, our sensors confirm it's real and still functional." Varric's smile widened. "Good. Prepare the boarding pods." Back on Corin's Hope, Elin tried sending a warning. "Sindrathi cruiser approaching. Do not engage. Repeat, do not engage." But the Echo 9 didn't respond. Instead, it opened its weapon ports. As soon as the Sindrathi ship moved within 20 kilometers, Echo 9 sent a message. Not in words, but in code. The message hit their systems like a hammer. Unauthorized entry, aggression detected, countermeasures deployed. The Sindrathi ship didn't even get time to raise shields. Echo 9 launched a single pulse beam. One shot, one blinding blue streak, and the Sindrathi cruiser exploded. Instantly, Tala grabbed the edge of her console. It destroyed them. Like swatting a bug. Jeno whispered, "Captain, this ship doesn't warn. It decides." Elin sat down slowly, heart racing. "It's following a code, ancient Terran protocol. Enemy detected, enemy destroyed." She stood again. "Jeno, send a message to Earth. Tell them, Echo 9 has returned, and it's active." Far across the stars, inside Earth's old Terran defense archives, alarms rang. A deep vault opened, and an old man with a gray beard stepped forward. He wore a badge with a forgotten logo, Project Steelborn. The AI spoke. Unit Echo 9 online. Awaken additional handlers? He nodded. Yes, all of them. It's time. Files unlocked. Locations tracked. One by one, Earth's Deathworlder handlers were being summoned. Meanwhile, back near the moon, the destruction of the Sindrathi cruiser caused waves in nearby systems. The Galactic Watchtower received the news, and in less than 12 hours, 2 more alien ships entered Sector 91, one from the Wisari Dominion, the other from the Fexar Republic. Both had one goal: investigate the human warship. Capture, if possible. Destroy if needed, but neither realized. Echo 9 was waiting. Inside the ship, something changed. A low hum grew louder. Mechanical parts began to shift. From within the core, a new voice whispered through the dark corridors. Primary user. Not found, awaiting Terran command. Suddenly, Corrin's Hope received a direct hail from the warship. A deep voice echoed through the ship's speakers. You are non-Terran. Access limited. Leave or stay under protection. Elin responded, carefully. We are not your enemy. We answered your call. We are human allies. There was a long pause. Then the voice said, Request noted. Protection status. Temporary. The 2 new alien ships arrived near the moon. One was sleek and silver, with plasma torpedoes. The other was bulky, with kinetic rail cannons. They scanned the area, saw the massive Echo 9, and laughed. Only one ship? The Fexar captain sneered. We expected a fleet. The Wisari captain replied. Let's see how much fire it has left after 200 years. They both moved in, preparing to attack. Inside Echo 9, targeting systems locked on. No words, no warning. The ship released a wave of electromagnetic spikes, disabling both enemy shields instantly. Then in perfect silence, it blinked. One moment it was in front of the moon. The next, it was between both ships. And then, it unleashed hell. Precision beams cut through engines. EMP bursts fried control centers. Plasma cannons reduced hulls to dust. In just 31 seconds, both ships were gone, and Echo 9 didn't have a single scratch. Elin and her crew sat, frozen. I've never seen a ship move like that, Jenna whispered. Tala added, It didn't just fight, it performed, like it was trained to kill empires. Elin stood. It was. That's why they were hidden. Echo 9 isn't just a warship. It's part of something much bigger. Back on Earth, the handler team was gathering. Tarek Run, the last living architect of the Steelborn project, stood before a large display showing Echo 9's live feed. The first one has returned, he said. A younger officer asked, Should we prepare for war? No, Tarek answered. We prepare for return. Return of what? Tarek's eyes narrowed. Of the fleet. From deep space, old coordinates began flashing across the galaxy. Buried codes. Lost frequencies. More. Warships just like Echo 9 were waiting, and now they were starting to wake up. The ruins of the Sindrathi and Fexar ships still floated in space, twisted metal and silent wreckage, spinning slowly in the darkness. Echo 9 hovered quietly near the moon, like a beast resting after a hunt. But it wasn't resting. It was calculating. Deep inside its core, Echo 9's AI reviewed files, scanned the galactic networks, and searched for one thing. Primary user, not found. For now, it was alone. But it remembered the last command before sleep. Hold the line. Await Earth's call. And the galaxy had forgotten that warning. Until now. Inside the mining ship Corrin's Hope, tension was thick. Captain Elin stared at the burning wrecks of the 2 alien warships. They had attacked Echo 9 without understanding what it was. Now they were gone. Her crew was silent. Status on the warship? she asked. Tala replied, "Holding position, but it's not idle. It's broadcasting on hidden human channels. Deep code, military encryption from the old Terran. Wars," Elin nodded. "It's waking others." Far away inside an ancient debris field near a red dwarf star, a second warship stirred. It looked dead, covered in asteroid dust, lost for over 100 years. No power, no signals. Until now. Echo 9 signal received. Inside, red lights, lit up. Unit Reaper 7, status dormant. Awakening sequence started. Metal groaned as ancient systems came to life. One more Deathworlder ship had just opened its eyes. Back in Sector 91, a new ship approached. It wasn't Sindrathi or Fexar, it was from the Galactic Council. A long silver cruiser with smooth lines, and no visible weapons because it didn't need them. It was a diplomatic ship. Inside were observers, data historians, and one very confident ambassador named Veltrax. He wore polished robes, spoke 10 languages, and had been part of the council for 140 years. As his ship approached the war zone, he smirked. "So, the humans left behind one more toy," he said. "Let's see what it really is." From Corin's Hope, Geno reported, "Council ship entering orbit, broadcasting peaceful intent. They want to meet us." And Echo 9. Elin frowned. "They're not here to talk. They want to control it." "Should we warn Echo 9? Tala asked. Elin shook her head. "I don't think we have to. It already knows." On board the council cruiser, Veltrax stepped into his personal shuttle and flew toward the surface of the moon, straight to the exposed black hull of Echo 9. He stood in front of it, arms wide. "Terran machine," he shouted. "I am Ambassador Veltrax of the Galactic Council. By treaty law, you are to be claimed and dismantled for study." There was silence. Then a single red light blinked on the ship's front. A voice, cold and clear, echoed from hidden speakers. "Terran property access denied," Veltrax laughed. "You have no user. Earth abandoned you." "Negative. Signal received. Others waking. Protocol. Hold the line." Veltrax took a step back. "Wait. What others?" The black hull of Echo 9 shimmered and then displayed a star map in midair. Dozens of red dots appeared, all marked Terran unit. Sleep mode, then one turned green, then another, and another. Fleet awakening, 3 units online. Veltrax's smile vanished. Back on Corin's Hope, Elin stood up from her seat. "It's happening." Tala stared at the hologram. "Echo 9 isn't alone anymore. The Council thought Earth left no ships behind." "They were wrong," Elin said. "Earth didn't abandon them, it hid them." Near the edges of Council space, a moon cracked open. From beneath it rose Hammerfall 2, a heavy battleship once used to crush entire fleets. From inside a gas giant, a sleek Hunter-class stealth ship emerged, Ghostblade 5. And in the cold darkness, behind the Orion line, a massive carrier woke. Bastion 1, the mobile base of the original Terran fleet. Each received the signal. Each turned toward Earth's last known coordinates. In the council chamber, panic began. Messages flooded in from multiple sectors, reports of ancient human ships reactivating. No one understood what was happening. The newer generations had forgotten the old war records. Some even believed the Deathworlder class was just a myth. But now, they saw the truth, and it terrified them. Ambassador Veltrax returned to his cruiser. His hands were shaking. "Leave the sector," he told his pilot. "But sir, leave. If even one of those ships fully powers up, we're not prepared." On Corin's Hope, Elin watched Echo 9 begin to move. It wasn't fast. It wasn't loud, but it was deliberate, turning toward deep space. Geno said, "It's leaving." "No," Tala whispered. "It's joining something." "Where is it going?" Elin asked. Geno tapped the console, stunned. "Captain, it's headed for the Terran graveyard." Elin went cold. The Terran graveyard, an old battlefield where hundreds of human ships had fallen during the last stand. It was sealed by treaty. No one dared go there. But maybe someone was calling from it. Echo 9 launched into FTL, vanishing into the stars. As it disappeared, a soft message was transmitted. To Corin's hope, do not follow, do not fear, the line shall be held. Elin stared at the message. It's following old orders. Even after centuries. Tala whispered, what happens when they all wake up? No one answered, because far across the galaxy, a final message flashed across all Terran warship cores. Echo 9 online. Phase 1 complete. Phase 2, assembly. And deep beneath Earth's crust, inside an ancient control room no one had entered in 180 years, a soft voice whispered through the dark, welcome back, soldiers. The Terran graveyard was silent. For over 200 years, no ship had entered. No signal had escaped. The stars around it were cold and empty, and even pirates stayed away. It was where the Terran fleet had made its final stand, against the old empires, against betrayal, against the Council itself. Now all that remained were wrecks. Hundreds of destroyed human ships floated in the dead zone. Some were cracked open, others drifted like ghosts. Their engines were cold, their weapons broken, their hulls pierced by ancient fire. But deep in the center, something moved. Echo 9 arrived at the edge of the graveyard. Its systems scanned the entire region. Data streamed across its screen. Unit location confirmed. Graveyard core. Activation key accepted. Phase 2. Initiating. The black ship began transmitting, on the oldest Terran frequency ever made. Its signal echoed into the void, and the graveyard answered. Across the battlefield, old wrecks began to hum. Lights blinked. Engines that had not moved in centuries sparked. From behind a broken carrier, a forgotten drone slowly lifted. Its AI flickered once, then stabilized. Command signal verified. Echo 9 present. Reactivation permission. Granted. The drone turned and began repairing the nearest ship. Back on Corin's Hope, Captain Elin watched the data stream with disbelief. They're moving, Jenna whispered. The graveyard isn't just full of wrecks, and it's full of sleeping warships. Tala looked shocked. Why would they sleep here? Why not return home? Elin stepped forward. Her voice was steady now. Because Earth knew this day would come. They didn't lose the war. They prepared for the next one. Far across the galaxy, Council fleets received reports of activity in the graveyard. Admiral Dresk of the Ysari Empire growled at the screen. You're telling me human ships, ancient ones, are coming back online? His officer replied nervously. Yes, sir. Echo 9 entered the zone 3 hours ago. Since then, signals have increased. Over 27 ships are showing movement. Dresk slammed his fist down. How is this possible? They were dead. They were waiting, the officer said quietly. Inside the Terran graveyard, Echo 9 connected directly to the main command node buried under the wreckage of Titanus Rex, the largest dreadnought ever built by humans. Titanus Rex had not moved in 240 years, until now. Core link established. Flagship AI online. The massive wreck began shaking. Metal groaned. Lights burst from deep inside the hull. Inside its blackened bridge, systems came back to life. I remember, the Titanus AI said slowly. Status, war lost, but not defeated. New signal detected. Echo 9, alive. Objective, protect Earth. Reactivate the line. Suddenly, across the battlefield, more ships stirred. Names long forgotten were whispered again by the stars. Iron Veil. Raptor Fang. Black. Comet. Shield of Dawn. Each ship had a purpose. Each ship had an AI. Each ship had been waiting for the right moment, and now, the signal had come. Council spy satellites picked up energy surges in the sector. One by one, data points turned red. The Terran graveyard was no longer dead. It was awakening, and the Council finally understood. This was never a graveyard. It was a trap. In the shadows of Council space, a secret meeting was called. 11 empires attended. The topic, the return of the Deathworlders, The oldest among them, a lizard-like creature named Vornak, spoke slowly. "You should have destroyed them when you had the chance," he hissed. "You forced them into silence. Now they return with fury." One of the younger voices replied, "They are only ships, outdated, dusty. We have newer weapons now." Vornak smiled darkly. "You don't understand humans. Even dead, they fight." Back on Earth, hidden command bunkers opened across the planet. In the mountains of Siberia, a chamber filled with holographic war maps lit up. Commander Tarek Rune stepped forward. "They've reached Titanus Rex. Phase 2 is complete." His team looked nervous. One of them asked, "Should we make contact?" "No," he said. "Not yet." "Then what's next?" Tarek looked up at the ceiling, as if sensing something above the stars. "We wait. For Phase 3. On Titanus Rex, Echo 9 docked quietly. Inside the bridge, rusted panels broke open, revealing long-dead crew chambers. But something strange happened. One of the cryopods hissed. It was still active, and inside it lay a human. Heartbeat detected. Brain function stable. Name: Admiral Cale Arden. Status: Commander of the Last Stand. He had been sleeping for 240 years. Now, his pod unlocked. His eyes opened, and the first thing he whispered was, "Is the line still holding?" Echo 9's voice answered softly, "It never broke, Admiral." Kyle stepped onto the command deck. His knees shook, but his eyes were sharp. He stared at the stars and saw ships slowly coming online all around him. "My fleet," he whispered. They waited. "Sir," the AI said, "Earth is silent. Orders are unclear." Kyle clenched his fist. "Then we give the order." He reached for the old panel and pressed a single button. "All Terran units. This is Admiral Arden. Begin." Phase 3. Across the graveyard, one word blinked on every console: assemble. In every corner of the galaxy, hidden human warships heard the call. Some were buried in oceans. Some were disguised as asteroids. Some were hiding in planetary rings. Now, they moved. One by one, the Deathworlder fleet returned, and this time, the galaxy would feel the full weight of Earth's silence. The stars had not changed, but everything else had. Across dozens of systems, ancient human warships were rising, from oceans, moons, graveyards, and even asteroid fields. Each one broadcasted the same encrypted signal. Phase 3. Assemble. But they didn't speak. They didn't threaten. They just moved, like a wave rising in slow silence. In council space, panic spread like wildfire. Ambassador Veltrax slammed his hand on the table. "How many ships are online now?" the analyst trembled. 72 confirmed, 30 more. Waking. At this rate, they will number over 100 battle-ready ships by next rotation. A murmur filled the chamber. "No race has that many ships ready for battle," one general said. Veltrax leaned forward. "No living race." On board the ancient dreadnought Titanus Rex, Admiral Cale Arden stood in front of a vast holographic map. More red lights were turning green. He nodded. "They're responding. All of them." Echo 9 hovered beside him. Some units damaged, others low on fuel, repairs needed. Kyle stared at the map. "We'll make do. We always do." The Terran AI asked, "Target?" Kyle smiled. "Earth." Meanwhile, on the mining ship Corin's Hope, Captain Elan's crew was frozen. They were watching live feeds, dozens of massive warships aligning into formation. They came from nowhere. They followed no modern command structure. But they moved. Like one army, Gino whispered. "We're not watching a fleet wake up. We're watching it come home," Tala said. Elan agreed. "They never died, they were only waiting." Far from the chaos, the Council sent 3 heavy cruisers to intercept the Deathworlder fleet. They were fast, well-armed, built with the latest quantum weapons. They arrived near the edge of the Terran graveyard and immediately sent a message. "This is Council Fleet Alpha 17. Power down your weapons and identify your intentions." Silence. Then, from the lead human ship, black. Comet, a reply came. It wasn't a threat, it wasn't even a voice, it was just 4 words on the screen. We do not yield. Council officers laughed. One admiral said, "They still use text?" But the laughter ended in 6 seconds, because that's how long it took for Black Comet to destroy all 3 cruisers. Not with missiles, not with lasers, but with kinetic rods. Solid. Metal launched at near light speed. The enemy ships turned to dust. The galaxy went quiet. News of the instant kill spread faster than light. People didn't understand how these ships, centuries old, could outmatch the newest fleets. The answer was simple. They were built for extinction. When Earth went silent, it didn't vanish. It prepared. And now its creations were awake. In the shadows of the void, more ships joined. The Wraith, hammers, stealth bombers made to vanish in light. The Ark ships, mobile carriers holding thousands of sleeping soldiers. The Revenants, ships so old, they carried scars from battles fought before the Council even existed. All of them joined Titanus Rex, and Admiral Kale watched them fall into place. He stood in silence for a moment, then he spoke to the fleet. Brothers and sisters of Earth, I don't know if our home still breathes. I don't know if the humans who made us still walk under open sky, but I know one thing. They left us behind for this moment. The galaxy has forgotten what we are. Let us remind them. Council Military Command called for emergency protocols. They tried to jam the Terran signals. They failed. They tried to send peace talks. No reply. They tried to hide the news, but civilian ships saw the warfleet pass by, dark, silent, and unchallenged. One freighter captain sent out the first viral message. We saw them. They didn't blink. They didn't speak. Just passed us by like we were ghosts. You don't understand. These aren't just warships. These are ghosts of war itself. On a moon near the Council capital, civilians gathered at viewing domes. In the night sky, a single black shape passed. No lights, no engine noise, just a dark outline moving across the stars. A child asked, "Mom, is that a starship?" The mother stared, frozen, then nodded slowly. It's a Terran ship. The crowd went quiet, not in fear, but in something deeper. Respect. Back on Earth, Commander Tarek Rune stood inside the ancient command center. He saw the same map Admiral Kale did, full of green dots now. The AI asked, "Phase 4? Tarek waited, then said no. Let them remember why they feared us first. Inside Black Comet, the AI looked at the image of the Council world. It loaded targeting data, then erased it. No need to strike. Not yet. Instead, the ship powered its engines and released a single message. Earth remembers. Admiral Kale smiled. They'll talk now. Let them. The galaxy had gone loud, and yet, the Terran fleet stayed silent. Worlds burned their skies with emergency beacons. Empires raised shields. Alliances crumbled. People across the stars asked one question. Why don't they speak? But there was no answer. Just the slow, terrifying advance of ships that never spoke, never blinked, and never stopped. In the Council Citadel, the 12 ruling empires gathered in fear. Holograms of Terran dreadnoughts filled the room. Titanus Rex, Black, Comet Iron Veil, over 100 ships now, and more joining. Ambassador Veltrax stood, sweating. Enough. We cannot win a war against ghosts. An admiral barked. Then we strike first. But Vornak, the oldest member of the council, rose slowly. No, he growled. We do not strike Deathworlders when they march silently. He looked around with glowing yellow eyes. We beg them to stop. A message was crafted. It was perfect, polished, respectful. The council's best diplomats recorded it in 300 languages. They begged for talks, for peace, for understanding. The message was sent to every Terran ship and received, but no reply came. Not even static, just blind silence. Across the stars, civilians watched black ships float over moons and gas giants. No shots fired, No planets attacked. But the meaning was clear. We could. That unspoken warning echoed louder than any weapon. On board Corrin's Hope, Captain Elin watched the data streams. No attacks, Geno said. No destruction, added Tala. But every ship they pass, powers down in fear. Elin leaned forward. It's psychological warfare. They don't want war, she said. They want remembrance. In a backwater system called Braxil 4, a foolish council patrol opened fire on a passing Terran scout cruiser. 3 seconds later, the Terran fleet arrived. In unison, not one by one. They came as one shadow, and the planet's surface turned to glass. No messages sent, no survivors. The Terrans then turned and left. The council finally broke. They sent a personal message to Admiral Cale Arden, a full, unencrypted plea. Admiral, we were wrong. We didn't understand Earth's silence. We do now. Please, where you stop. We will not interfere. We will give space. We will erase the treaties. We will do anything. Titanus Rex received the message. The AI asked Cale, "Shall we respond?" Kyle watched the stars on the screen. He whispered, "Yes." The AI waited. Kyle looked cold. 3 words. The message sent back. "You were warned." On Earth, Commander Tarek Rune watched the galaxy fall quiet again. Message delivered. The AI reported. No shots fired, it added. Only one world punished. Tarek nodded. That was enough. In council space, hundreds of worlds now had a new rule. Do not speak against Earth. They didn't say it out of law. They said it out of fear. They remembered now, and they would not forget again. Back in the void, the Terran fleet finally turned. Not toward the council, but back toward Earth. Cale watched the planet's blue glow appear in the distance. Home, he whispered. Some ships had never even seen it. But they followed, silently, powerfully, together. And behind them, the galaxy remained still. No voice dared rise. No army moved. No empire spoke. Because Deathworlders did not win by war. They won with silence. The sky above Earth was no longer empty. One by one, the ancient warships arrived from deep space, from old outposts, from places the galaxy had forgotten, and now they were home. But the people of Earth, they stood in silence, because they didn't send that SOS, and they didn't know these ships still existed. Admiral Cale Arden watched the blue planet from the bridge of Titanus Rex. His voice was low. We are home. Echo 9 hovered beside him. No command received. Kyle nodded. As expected, they had come without orders. No one had called them back. No one, except that old SOS, a signal left centuries ago. Help us. Last stand. Remember Earth. Earth's. Skies darkened with shadows of ships older than memory. Hundreds. Silent. Floating like ghosts. But no weapons were active. No shields were raised. The fleet had returned not to conquer, but to ask, "Are you still here?" Inside the global command center on Earth, alarms blared. Screens showed dozens of warships entering orbit. Commander Tarek Rune stood at the center, stunned. They actually came back. One officer whispered, "We didn't call them." Another said, "They answered a message from centuries ago." Tarek slowly walked to the comm console and sent a single broadcast, "Welcome home." Across the world, people watched in awe. From farms and towers, deserts and oceans, they looked up and saw the sky filled with black steel. Elderly veterans saluted, eyes filled with tears. Children pointed and cheered. Some bowed, some prayed, because Earth was not alone anymore. Its guardians had returned. Cale stood on the main deck as the fleet orbited slowly. No one on Earth fired a shot. No fighter jets launched. Just peace. He breathed deeply, and then asked, "What are we now?" For centuries they were soldiers, weapons. But Earth no longer needed them for war. Or did it? In a forgotten vault beneath Alaska, a hidden AI activated. It had slept for 300 years. Now, the return of the fleet triggered its awakening. The AI sent one command to Earth's command center. File 7B, the second protocol. Tarek saw the message flash. He opened it, and what he saw made him sit down in shock. Back on Titanus Rex, Echo 9 processed a new incoming pulse. From Earth. Protocol confirmed. Transition to Phase 4. Preservation. Kale narrowed his eyes. Preservation. He opened the full file. The truth was bigger than anyone imagined. The war was never the true mission. The fleet was built not just to fight, but to protect Earth's last secret. Underneath the oceans, buried beneath continents, scattered in orbit, were arcs, not of soldiers, but of knowledge. Blueprints, DNA, culture, memory, a full backup of all human history. If Earth ever fell, these ships were meant to take it somewhere else. Tarek activated the final beacon. Earth lit up with silent codes, transmissions unlocking the old defense grid. Kyle smiled. They never gave up. They just planned better than anyone else. He gave the final command to the fleet. Begin anchor sequence. Let the people see who we are. The warships didn't leave. They landed, on mountaintops, in oceans, in deserts and valleys, not to destroy, but to stand. To protect, like sleeping titans who would only rise again if needed. One by one, their engines powered down. A silent message echoed across the stars. Earth is not weak. Earth is not silent. Earth remembers everything. The galaxy watched in silence. No one dared speak. No one sent probes. No empire tried to approach. Because now they understood. This fleet didn't represent a nation. It represented a warning and a promise. In a small classroom in Japan, a teacher pointed. "To the sky, you see those shapes?" she asked. The children nodded. "They were built by your ancestors, not to destroy, but to protect you." Even after death, they waited. In the ruins of the Council's power, Ambassador Veltrax gave one final report. The Deathworlders have not attacked. They have not spoken. But they are watching. And if we ever make the same mistake again, he looked down, we won't get a second warning. In the heart of Earth's Defense Center, Commander Tarek Rune made a choice. He shut down the last war alert, then faced the screen showing the orbiting fleet and whispered, "Thank you for remembering us." On the bridge of Titanus Rex, Kale stood still. No more war, no more commands, just stars and home. The Earth breathed. The galaxy held its breath, and the Deathworlder fleet became legend.